It's been a long cold winter, but now it is March and it's nearly April, which means spring is here and we can come out of our shells and enjoy a little bit of nice weather whilst it lasts. I'm at my sister's in southeast London today, and whilst we're here I thought we'd go and celebrate spring with a little bit of a trip to the seaside. So we're going to go and explore some East Kent. We're going to start at Whitstable, saving the oysters for afterwards, and take a 7-mile route along the Crab and Winkle Way to Canterbury, which is used to be an old railway line. I think in the 1830s it was a huge passenger railway line, and it's now disused and has been turned into a lovely path for us to enjoy some lovely hills, lovely views, and apparently some ancient broadleaf woodland. So I don't know why I can't say woodland. Anyway, we're going to go and have a look before the weather changes, I think. See you in a bit. Okay, we're all set, but I just thought I'd do my little colourful checklist. Rucksack, check. Leggings, check. And check this out, my new trainers. Woo! They're already totally covered in mud. I don't know if you can really see that. I'm still really proud of them though. Anyway, let's hit the road! Hello and welcome to windy Whitstable. Behind me you can see north along the North Sea, but we're standing in the harbour right now, and behind me is a big old shellfish stand just pulled up. Can you see that? Whitstable's been famous for its shellfish since Roman times. I just thought we'd divert here slightly before we head south into Canterbury because it's a pretty lovely view for a nice spring-like afternoon. If you do come down here, you'll probably be able to walk along the coast and see the remains of the defence forts from World War II, from air and sea defences. You can also probably see, well, where I'm looking, just behind the harbour, you can see just a few of the 30 wind turbines on the Kentish flats up there. But yeah, I don't think we'll stop for any oysters today because we're in a bit of a rush. We've got to beat the sun going down. So let's head back south and we'll pick up again at the station. Here we are on the south side of Whitstable station, and you'll have to bear with me, we have to get through some boring bits before we actually get to the nice woodland where we're heading to. But we've just come out the station and we're going to follow the Crab and Winkle Way, which down Seymour Road here, and just join up with that, and that'll take us across the lovely woodland and a nice sort of 7-mile route into Canterbury. But yeah, you'll just have to bear with me also to figure this out. The Crab and Winkle Way is formerly the Canterbury and Whitstable railway line, and that was opened in the 1830s, and the C&W from Canterbury and Whitstable also matched up quite nicely with Crab and Winkle, obviously Whitstable being famous for shellfish. So God, the seagulls are so loud here. This looks like a lovely railway line meets a place for young people to hang out and ride bikes and do things. Yeah, funny to imagine coal and shellfish being shuttled along here back in the day. I don't think it was a very profitable line though, because apparently it closed in 1853, and I think it went bankrupt before that and was bought by South Eastern Trains. So anyway, if you like trains, doubtless that will excite you. But this actual footpath was reopened in 1999 and turned into sort of footway, cycleway. I hope we're actually on the right one. Off we go again. I think we're just about to go underneath the Thanet Way, which I learnt today was partly built in the 1930s as a kind of employment project or something. Oh, art. Sorry for all the puffing, by the way. I've been ill and I'm a bit stuffed. I'm supposed to be doing a marathon in less than a month. Don't think that's going to happen. How nice. We're about to, well, ahead of us you can probably see the Blean, which is an 11 square mile area of ancient woodland, broadleaf woodland I think, that stretches east to west. What we're working across now is some farmland, which is not very farmed because it's very acidic clay soil around here. So that means not a lot of farming and still some lovely woodland that's been used for coppicing and felling since ancient times. Well, I say ancient times, since as long as people knew how to coppice and fell. I don't pretend to be an expert on the subject. Great for wildlife though. See you in a minute. This will be Thanet Way Part 2 then. It's bloody hilly and bloody windy. Whee! Literally seconds before I pressed the recording, it's a perfect example of some pheasants chattering away at this time of day. We're walking through closed wood now, which is I think birch and coniferous woodland, and it's a great place apparently to hear the nightjar, which at this time of year we might, you know, it being nearly April, might be in luck, might be a bit early for, I don't really know about birds that much. It's pretty lovely and peaceful, there's no one else around. And the nice thing about, so the Blean goes all the way east to west. You can do loads of circular walks and things around there. This is kind of taking us directly south, and but all the Blean has provided for years and years for all sorts of things. So the kind of charcoal for a gunpowder factory and timber for all sorts of business. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, tanneries in Canterbury. I don't really know how tanneries work, I just know they're very smelly. Just enjoy a bit of bird song for a minute. Okay, I'll run up this hill now. I must say, I love a disused railway line as much as the next girl, but I mean, they can be a little bit boring when they're really straight like this. Yeah, sort of to point out the obvious. Oh, have a look. Oh, flares. And close up. You didn't need both camera angles on that, did you? Oh, I'm just really pissing around today, aren't I? Right. If you were watching that video beady-eyed there, indeed, if anyone's watching this video, that's what a massive panic looks like. When I just ran under those power lines. I hate them. They really give me the creeps. It's a buzzing sound. I don't know if you get the same, but ooh, that freaked me out. Some trees with some orange things on them. It's a nice little pond. Anyway, let's get on with this. We've cut the corner. Woo! Very nice to have a path here when it's so soggy. Apparently, here's an interesting fact I didn't know, not sort of the centre of Whitstable is built on low-lying marshland. Now as we get closer to Canterbury, we'll get closer to the River Stour, which runs straight through the city. Just about to go through a little farm. Looks like someone's managing to do something with the clay. A few of the local movers and shakers. Hate myself. Sorry I made that joke. I just remembered a really good fact. Well, it's not really good. The wood we just went through, Cloweswood or Cloweswood, I don't know how you say it, they have quite a few sweet chestnut, I think. It's either that one or the next one. And the reason for that is that they were really widely planted in the 18th century when they were used as, the wood was used as hop poles. And obviously Kent is the Garden of England, as many counties are, but you know, we can see this will very soon be something or other. Facts! Very pretty picture. We're still in the Blaine or Blean or whatever it's called, but over in that direction where the camera's looking is Churchwood, which most of this area of woodland was actually in religious ownership until the 20th century, and Churchwood in particular was said to be gifted by, I think, Richard I in 1189 to the the Cathedral of Canterbury, in exchange for some funding for one of his crusades, the third one I think. But what we're coming up to now is a rather interesting church we'll go closer to. I've got a few facts about this church. There was, in Roman times, a large villa somewhere near here, and there are apparently some remains of walls or something in the churchyard over there. But this church was built, well, there was originally a church in here, you know, apparently quite early, even 596 when Augustine came to Canterbury, but that's just one thing. This was built in the 1100s, I think. Let me just check my notes. No, this was built in 1233, and apparently if you look on the western wall you can find parts of the Roman villa incorporated in this flintstone structure. I mean, it was apparently sort of rebuilt quite a lot since, and particularly in Victorian times, but maybe we'll just go and have a little look. I'm not going to say anything. go. I don't know what Roman stones look like, but it all looked very nice to me. St. Cosmas and St. Damien, by the way, I only learnt this earlier, but they were two Arabic, potentially, hello Mr. Magpie, how's your wife? Two Arabic physicians who were martyred in Syria, maybe twin brothers. That's all I got. We're just coming into Canterbury now through the university, if you hadn't guessed that already. We're approaching from the northwest. We're going to go through an area called St Dunstan's, which is home to a church of St Dunstan. St Dunstan was an early Archbishop of Canterbury and a real fave until what's-his-face came along and got canonised even better. Lovely to see some daffodils. If you carry along back that road we were just coming along, you will end up straight in the middle of Canterbury. We're just taking a little diversion here to show you a couple of extra things. Thought I'd get you in the mood for some nice architecture with the city cemetery, St Dunstan's, which is named after St Dunstan, who was a really popular Archbishop of Canterbury, and I've got here on my notes the exact dates he was Archbishop, 960 to 978. Nice spot for a moped, apparently. Anyway, really lovely cemetery, but we're losing the light and we want to get to Canterbury Cathedral, don't we? So let's crack on. Here's a rather glamorous approach to Canterbury, aided by this lovely sign. In a moment we'll see some nice things, but for starters, what do we know about Canterbury? It's been inhabited since prehistoric times. I've got something in my eye. I've got something in my eye. It's been inhabited since prehistoric times, but built by the Romans. They built a wall around the city. There are not many remains of that wall, but I kind of gave it a vital structure, I think. I'm just attempting to rejoin the Crab and Winkle Way to take us towards the river. Oh, it stinks down here. Not a very salubrious way to enter the city, but anyway, there we have it. Canterbury, inhabited since prehistoric times. Built into a proper nice city by the Romans. They built a big old wall around it, and famous for the martyrdom of Thomas Becket in the 1170s. And what else? Massive cathedral, a World Heritage Site. We'll get a bit closer to that and then I'll talk about that. As you may have gathered, the camera went flat there, coming towards the roundabout. We're now in a much nicer part, so we just took a left at the roundabout, St Peter's roundabout, and we're going into the city. Sorry about the imprint on my forehead there, it's very glamorous. But this is the River Stour, and this river flows all the way out to the North Sea at Pegwell Bay. But it goes right through the heart of the city, and obviously it has been very important in terms of trade and commerce and stuff like that through the centuries. As rivers are, they are highways before highways were a thing. Anyway, I'll stop waffling now, I'm getting a bit tired. So we're now going to approach Westgate Towers, which is kind of one of the remaining towers of the Roman wall. Hello little duckies. We're standing looking at Westgate Tower, which is, if I just spin you around here. We're along the River Stour now, so my camera went flat, and we have come into Canterbury, and this is a medieval tower. So this replaces one of the Roman gates. There were 7 gates around the city on the Roman wall, and this is I think one of the last of them to stand. We'll go a bit closer and I'll tell you some more things. And behind me is Westgate Tower, medieval tower built in 1379. We'll just walk a little bit closer towards it, made of Kentish ragstone, and as I said, the last of 7 gates around what was the Roman wall to the city. Just heading into the city now. Let's go and have a look at our cathedral, shall we? Walking down the high street. We're on St Peter's Street. I just thought I'd stop here and show you this little view of the Stour behind us, and this weaver's house, which is now a restaurant, dating to 1500, if you can see that sign. And just like that, we are outside the gates of Canterbury Cathedral. This is a World Heritage Site, quite a touristy spot, as you'll probably see even at this time of day, but home to the Church of England and St Augustine's Abbey, St Martin's Church, and the cathedral itself, which is just behind these gates. So we'll go and have a little look around now, talk to you in a bit. A lot of work going on, and she's feeling, I suppose, a bit sorry for herself down one end, but architecture like that needs a lot of maintenance. There's been a cathedral on this site, well, the original, since 597. I think that's currently under the nave of this existing building, but of course we had to come here. This is the seat of the Church of England, conduit to Rome and the rest of the world, and very, very important place in general if you're into religion. Oh, hiya. See that chappie there? Hello. If you're easily distracted. So let's just have a little wander around. What can I tell you about this? Look at the size of this beast. Whoa. It's a fat old tree. Anyway, let's go and have a little peaceful sit through here. It's not a religious hood, it's just really cold. The sun has now officially crept behind the city, but I thought this would be a good place to end with a story about someone we really haven't mentioned yet and should have done, because Canterbury Cathedral was of course the site of the martyrdom of Thomas Becket, who became an instant martyr in 1170 when he was murdered here. And the story goes that he and Henry II were arguing about the church and state and the power balance there, and it went on for ages, and got excommunicated, came back, went back and forth. Don't know the ins and outs of it, but basically someone overheard Henry cussing Becket and just being a bit fed up really with this upstart archbishop, and consequently 4 knights went and attacked him and murdered him here. Massive mistake. They were excommunicated, sent on a pilgrimage. Henry II was also very sorry and came and did his own little pilgrimage and repented, but obviously since that day Becket has been a martyr, and this is a site of pilgrimage for many, and the end of the Pilgrim's Way today. I hope you've enjoyed our little wander. Sorry it's been a bit mad and I've had my tongue in a tangle, but what a nice scene to end with.